Hey everyone, it's Helen from SMB Deal Hunter. Today we're going to talk with Clem here about a deal he closed just about 2 months ago through the SMB Deal Hunter Pro program. So we helped Clem source this opportunity off market, and it took about 5 months from when he started working with us to close. So today we're going to touch on Clem's background, what he was doing before he bought this business, some of the biggest challenges of the search, and how we were able to help, some more details on the business he ultimately acquired, and also how post-closed acquisition life has been. So let's jump in. First off, Clem, thanks so much for joining me and for diving in with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to talk to you.
I guess first let's start with just your background. What were you doing before buying this business, and what kind of prompted you to get into business ownership and acquisitions?
Sure. Yeah. So I had been a tech consultant for some time, around 5 years at this point as a consultant, but I've been in tech for uh, close to 12 years at this point. And I realized that I absolutely hate tech. So it was one of those things where, I was looking for kind of a way out, and it didn't seem like a reasonable way to get out of tech without kind of sacrificing, a nice salary. So like if I were to go to a different job or a different field, I'd have to start from the bottom. So I kind of saw some of your ads and just decided, okay, let's make this might be the way out, right? This might be it.
I love that. How long were you kind of searching on your own, or maybe exploring acquisitions on your own? What kind of progress had you made prior to joining us?
Yeah, I had kind of been casually searching for a couple months, kind of like going to the typical like Biz Buy Sell website and just filling out the forms. I didn't really know what I was particularly doing, so I didn't really take it seriously in any sort of way. But yeah.
No, that makes sense. And what was kind of the main reason you decided to, I guess, really take the leap and commit to working with us ultimately? Then after a few months of trying this out on your own casually.
So I'm a real kind of believer in you should leverage the expertise that's out there, and you shouldn't go ahead and try to assume that you'll figure it out. So I think I just had like a really bad day at work one day and decided, okay, I really need to take this seriously, but I don't feel confident in, what I'm doing or what I should be looking at. So I really wanted some professional help in that sense. So I kind of like went out and searched for some people who offered that and then found you guys.
And I'm curious, what were some of the things maybe holding you back from joining us, and what made you decide to choose us after, I guess, exploring and looking around and doing your own due diligence, if you will?
I think it was an investment, like clicking request a sim on BizBuySell is free, but when you actually have to put some money into it, then it becomes a serious endeavor. So that was a hurdle I had to kind of jump over. But once I did kind of made the point to join, then I really was able to commit myself to the search. And one of the things that really stood out was particularly the community. So I knew that there would be kind of limited value in someone kind of teaching me something, but probably more value in talking to people who have already gone through the process or who are still going through the process. So that was what was really exciting and valuable to me.
No, that's great. And can you walk us through sort of maybe some of the most biggest things you got out of working together or out of joining the program?
Yeah, just being able or hearing other people who are in very similar situations as I am made me feel really good in the sense that, oh, okay, I'm not alone. But just also leveraging people from different backgrounds, and able to pick their brains on things that I didn't know, but at the same time being able to offer kind of my expertise. So, I have a strong tech background, and a lot of people are looking to kind of add or leverage technologies in these kind of old businesses. And it's been really great for me to kind of offer suggestions in that respect, and in turn, kind of ask them about questions that I don't know anything about, particularly digital marketing. So that's been really helpful.
Anything else that I think that I guess you found helpful that we were able to support with as part of this process?
Yeah, I think your experts are really great. So the people and the advisors you have in the program, Bill, Mark, um, Mubarak, everyone on the team, they had always been kind of available to review things for us and give their intake and or input. I was really fortunate to have the team that I did. I don't think I could have mentally got like really succeeded in this acquisition without them.
That's great. And anything else we haven't touched on as part of this journey, during your, I guess, 5 month process with us that you found helpful?
I think the off-market deal sourcing was real integral to kind of the success. After joining the program, even though I kind of had all the support, I was going into meetings with brokers or conversations with sellers and finding myself walking away with really nothing to show for it. And it does feel kind of like you're competing against these really big, either institutional buyers or just people who have, large capital backings. It was really great that, you know, that the off-market deals were available because I don't think I would have been able to win um, a deal that was public. Like because the private deal, um, was less competitive in a sense, it was a lot easier for me to get to a close.
No, that makes a lot of sense. I think that's a great segue into the business you actually acquired and found off market. Tell us about the business. Tell us what jumped out at you about it, and maybe some of the high level deal terms you were able to negotiate.
Sure. So I bought a digital marketing agency with a kind of specialization in the automotive space. It wasn't particularly, the business itself wasn't really that interesting to me, but I knew that I wanted to do a service-based industry, and when I met the owner, it was kind of like a little bit kismet. I wanted to get out of tech, and he was very desperate to get into tech. He was trying to kind of launch his new app, like AI app startup thing. And he just needed kind of this marketing agency to go away in a sense. So he was both really excited about meeting me because, again, able to kind of offer the tech insight, but also for me to kind of leverage his background in marketing. He's been in the industry for a really long time. So we kind of developed a really good relationship with each other, which I thought was really a significant part to why I chose this business to buy.
That makes sense, especially with these off-market deals where you do have the time and opportunity to actually develop a relationship with sellers, which you often don't with these broker deals. So that makes a lot of sense. And I guess upon digging in, what did you kind of like about the deal?
I really like the branding. I think that there were a lot of digital marketing agencies that were really kind of all about the transactional nature of it. It's really about, hey, we can run your ads for the least amount of money and we have operational efficiency, so that's why we can get you lowest price. But with this particular agency, there was like a real strong brand around it. They had like a very recognizable logo. They're known in the industry, and I felt that that was probably a better bet than just kind of betting on some very obscurely branded marketing agency where they are just good at selling or outsourcing or something like that.
Especially I think given the niche, right? It's hard to find a
Yeah.
marketing agency that focuses on the automotive space.
Hmm.
I'm sure that's not super common, that I know at least.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, me neither. I mean, I was also surprised that this was a thing.
well, look, tell us about maybe some of the terms you're able to negotiate with the seller, and maybe just high level deal terms you feel comfortable sharing.
Yeah, so we closed for a little bit under $1 million, and a lot of that was due to the seller's bad finances. He had, he's starting his tech company, so he was running a significant amount of expenses through the business, which made the books look pretty bad. So when I brought this to the bank, no one really wanted to touch it. So kind of going back and forth with the seller and the bank, just basically asking, hey, what can we do to make this work? And the bank came back with, you know, a uh, the highest amount dollar figure that they're willing to offer. And I basically went back to the seller and say, okay, you have to make up the rest in seller financing. And I had put down 5%. And the seller was willing to put down the other 5% for the down payment, and then, cover another 20% of the deal with seller financing, just because he, one, really wanted to get out of this business, but I think that he was uh, kind of really banking on the fact that there would be some cohesion between kind of me running this company and him running his tech company, that he'd be able to, recognize some sort of win if he kept the relationship long term.
No, that's super interesting and very smart. And I guess what multiple did you guys end up landing on then?
It was really funky. If we were to consider kind of the actual revenue of digital marketing a business, I think we did land at something pretty reasonable, like a 3 multiple. But if we took a look at what the bank said, because they did not consider all his kind of expenses towards the startup as ad backs, it was actually something crazy, like, a 5 times multiple. And everyone's like, ooh, terrible deal.
Yeah. So then I guess it makes sense that you were able to negotiate something with him to kind of cover it. But no, that's awesome. And I'm curious how it's been, since you acquired the business. How does it feel finally, being a business owner after actually taking over? Is this business as good as you thought it was?
I think it's been really great since taking over, just being able to really kind of make an impact in the sense of translating the ideas that I have into actual wins. So since I acquired the company, we've closed 5 deals with
Wow.
clients. Yes. I kind of came in and restructured the whole pricing model, and made it more kind of like transparent, kind of systemize a lot of things. And when you put in effort into those things, it's not, always apparent what the result of those efforts are. But when you're the CEO, you can actually see, oh, that translates to a dollar figure in your bank account. So that's been really rewarding.
That's awesome. How much have you grown the business since, and where do you think you'll sort of land after the first year?
Yeah, so there was pretty significant churn after acquiring the business. We lost probably about 30% of the business, just by the fact that the old owner had stepped away, and he had a lot of clients who were really attached to him. So we haven't really grown, but we've been able to kind of claw back the 30% with new business over the last, month and a half.
Wow, that was fast.
Yeah, it's really great because, some of those clients were like more high maintenance anyway. So
No, I mean that I think churn is kind of common in the agency space, especially when you have an owner operator. So or an owner that held some of those relationships. So the fact that you were able to claw back that 30% is pretty huge. And I'm curious, we spoke about this before during this interview, but you've obviously kept your job. So how's that been going? Tell us a little bit more. Was that always the plan that you were gonna keep the job while, now running another business, or is this new?
Yeah, I always knew that I would keep my job at least for some time, just because, jumping into a business was a little bit anxious. Like I was a little anxious about it, so I didn't want to kind of go all in. But I also made it a real point to find a business that was in professional services because that's what I currently do. So it didn't feel like I had two jobs. It really does feel like, kind of one job in a sense, or an extension of my current job. So I've been really fortunate enough to, be in this particular industry, have this particular job because it really does allow me to invest, not an insignificant amount of time into this business.
No, that's great. And are you finding yourself having some work-life balance still, or what does that look like? I mean, that's a lot, two jobs for one person. I feel like you read about this in the news, but
hmm I actually think I have better work-life balance, but in the opposite direction. So before buying this business, I was spending like, I don't know, 9 hours a day watching TV. So it's actually worked out better.
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so funny. No, and what are you sort of looking forward to? Are you seeing sort of ways that you can grow this business already? Obviously, you've already started implementing some pricing changes, but over the course of the next year, what are you most excited about with the business you just acquired?
Yeah, I'm really excited about the expansion opportunities. So, before it was just pretty much one thing, the business, which was doing kind of geofencing ads. I'm really excited to kind of expand the business in a way where we can like launch multiple practices. So, advisory practice, a data practice, and kind of like go all in on this particular kind of automotive niche that they're in. I'm learning a lot. And it's just been really fun being able to kind of see our brand out in the world, out in these publications. So that's really exciting.
And when you say automotive niche, tell us, does that like who are the clients that you're working with? Are they on like they're on monthly retainers? Like what does that look like?
Yes, all of our clients are on monthly retainers. I did introduce a new TNM model for kind of clients who wanted more custom work or kind of more expansive work, which that the company was not able to kind of accommodate before. Our main clients are collision repair shops for now, but since coming in and with the idea of expansion, we've kind of introduced automotive-based technology companies too. So we have one client who is a software developer for kind of the app that collision repair shops and mechanics use to like schedule and track, the cars that are coming in and what needs to be done on them. So it's really interesting that there was so much um uh there are so many derivatives of collision repair that I didn't know before.
No, that's super interesting. I think it's great to find marketing agencies that do service these niches because obviously the ones that are super saturated, like e-commerce marketing agencies or SaaS marketing agencies, it's so competitive. But I'm sure in this space, you have way less competition probably.
Yeah, I've during the due diligence process, I did realize that this was an underserved market. I think people don't necessarily think about digital ads when they think about, oh, I need to get a dent repaired in my car. So I didn't know that it was such a thing. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people also don't know that it's a thing, which gives us an advantage because, we probably only have one or two actual direct competitors.
That's great. Well, Clem, I want to be sensitive of your time, but thank you so much for joining us. I guess last question before I give you back your time. For someone who maybe is watching this right now and is unsure about maybe taking that next step and working with us and working with our team, what do you have to say to them? Any sort of parting words?
I would say if you are on the fence or you know, even truly interested in, I think this is one of the things that I learned when I was working at Amazon is the concept of a two-way door decision versus a one-way door decision. We think that, or at least I thought that kind of joining this program, investing in the program and all the contents would be a one-way door decision, but in hindsight, it was probably a two-way door decision. So thinking of that, I would say take the jump. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out, but you'll never know unless you try. So I was really happy that I convinced myself to join.
Oh, and we're happy for you too. Very excited for you and excited to continue following along. And Clem, thank you so much for your time today. We'll have to catch up a few months from now once you're a few months in.